Hey, what's going on, everybody? Stock Catcher here. Hope everybody having a great weekend as usual. This week, I think is gonna change a lot of people's lives, guys. If you're not part of the team, I recommend subscribe. Join the family every single day. As you see here, the people just banking, just having fun. And look at these trade ideas. This was just on Friday. One day I do these recaps just to show the possibility and opportunity that there is in the day trading, swing trading. It doesn't matter, stock market. Every single day. And you could check the proof. It's in the timestamps on Twitter. You could go to StockTwit, open the live stream. This is all just one day, guys. Look at this. Ronnie, 116 to 239. You know, SNSC, I mentioned it right near the bottom. You could check it. And it's just going parabolic, $23 almost. And the thing about my trade ideas is that it rips and ramps in a few short period of time. And that's what's really good, you know, if people are busy. So there's a lot of stocks to go over today, guys. I highly recommend watch the full video, 2x speed, share the video, like the video, because it makes a lot more views. You know, it helps promote the YouTube algorithm, right? So Beyond Meat, this stock I mentioned on Friday. You could check the time I posted it. This was in the pre-market, I believe. And if you check right now, this is just going absolutely berserk in terms of social media mentions, in terms of impressions, in terms of just overall excitement. This is definitely reminds me of Opendoor stock. I mentioned it right near the beginning. You could check the Twitter post. I said it was around $1, and then it going parabolic. I made many YouTube videos on Opendoor. It ended up going to almost $11, guys, from $1. That's, what is that, like 1,000%, over 1,000%. And Beyond Meat, same situation. I said it right in the beginning, and then now it's like a historical movement. Apparently, I see people tagging, you know, Eric Jackson. I'm seeing him responding. I'm seeing people with a huge amount of presence on social media just going crazy on Beyond Meat, saying this is the next big stock. Everybody, I'm seeing they're buying like so many shares, and this is over the weekend. So what ends up happening if a stock has this much attention, like Opendoor, over the weekend, what ends up happening is a lot of people get a ton of, you know, like FOMO for the Monday, because it's not even open. Think about it. The market's not even open. And everybody is just waiting to get in. They're just researching all the stock. They are, you know, just anticipating a big move up. So what's likely going to happen, in my opinion, is you're going to see a gap up in Beyond Meat. So if you took this trade idea, shout out to you. Because on Friday I posted it more than once, even on the live stream. I said there's a lot of people talking about Beyond Meat in the morning time, right? This was before the close, and I had some people tagging me, hitting me up as well. So this stock, apparently, this DD is mainly from Twitter. Shout out to people on Twitter that provided DD. And there's a big trader, Capybara, that apparently got banned from Reddit. I'm going to talk about that more later. But so basically, Beyond Meat, I saw that there's no reverse split for a couple of months. That's a big deal, because when you're talking about pennies, right? Penny stock under $1. One of the biggest things that drives people kind of hesitant, or kind of not the most bullish, right? Because when a stock usually reverse split, most of the time it's not a good thing. But there's no reverse split for a couple months. And on top of that, this is actually insane. This stock is now the most shorted stock in the whole, like, US, right? 80%, with over 9 FTD, 800% CTB. That's crazy. We're talking about Beyond Meat. This stock also, in terms of cash position, this has an extra $50 million in cash unaccounted for from his balance sheet. I believe this was from Capybara from Twitter, and I highly recommend you follow him if you want more updates on the stock. His username is, I just had to double check, it's Capybara Reborn, the handle, and then Capybara stock. So this stock, actually, on top of that, I saw that Squeeze Finder has a score of over 93%, over 500% return. Beyond Meat, when we're talking about the stock, if you pull up the technical chart on this stock, this is at what the bottom levels, guys. This is not when the stock is just ripping rampant and you're buying for momentum. Like for example, let's say the stock was $10 and then you're buying in anticipation of continuation. It's not like that at all. If you go to the daily chart, pull it up right now, this stock is literally at the bottom. This went from the psychological 50-cent level, right, just 2 days ago or 1 day ago, and then it confirmation and hold that, and now this is literally the bottom. This is at, when I mentioned it, it was at 60 cents, guys. So from 60 cent, the risk reward, based just on the attention alone, the fact that people are, going crazy on Reddit. I'm seeing people getting banned over, banned like Capybara, and it's at near the bottom levels. So we're talking about Beyond Meat. I think that this stock definitely will gap up. It's just my opinion. Again, not financial advice as usual. This stock, once it breaks and holds over that $1 level, you could see a lot more buying volume on the purchase side, right? Because like I said in my previous video, right, once a penny stock goes over $1 and holds, that is massive. Talking not just about the reverse split angle, but also in terms of psychology, right? So I'm going to be keeping a close eye and keeping you guys updated on this one. I highly recommend subscribe, guys. There's a lot more stocks that have huge potential, and I mention many bangers every single day. So next one you got to watch, guys, is IRBT. This one called iRobot. So iRobot actually broke over the 200 MA. This is one of those robotic sector, right? I mentioned RR. You could check my videos, RR and a serve I talked about in many videos prior to the big run up, and then just going parabolic. So we're talking about iRobot. The core business is basically robotic floor care, vacuum, mop vacuum. It's basically where this is gonna be necessary, right? This is not a service that is completely useless when you're talking about robotics. I've seen videos on not just X but other social media platforms where they showcase where these robots are performing very necessary tasks. And if you're talking about global scale as well, you're talking about United States, Europe, Middle East, actually, Japan, Africa, many more. So iRobot is also gonna be watching this stock. I believe the stock also has a high short percent, and that's something you really want to remember this coming month. I think that short squeeze stocks are gonna get a lot of attention, so it might be very beneficial to get an early start and start to research, as well as maybe get in some of these plays, right? Again, not financial advice, but when you're talking about stocks, the early bird gets the worm most of the time. Because I talked about RR, BBAI, all these stock early, SON, SOUN, and then end up ripping face. So next one, AIRE, AIRE. This one, I said many times, you could check my stock tips post before the big run up, ended up going parabolic. And then now it started to pull back. And this stock actually, if you go to the short data, it has a really high short percent float. Again, what are going off of Beyond Meat and IRBT, right? This is another one that you got to pay attention, where it is a high short percent. And on top of that, if you go to the daily chart, it's right near this very important support level. So AIRE, this again is similar to Opendoor stock, that real estate type of angle, right? So our Opendoor I'm going to be talking about later as well in the video, but there's definitely nice, interesting levels for a bounce, right? Next one is SLS. This one made a massive move in after hours. Actually, BlackRock, if you don't know, disclosed a 5.4% stake. There's a big catalyst coming up on October 29, which is not far from today. It's less than 2 weeks away. So this had a parabolic push after hours, and I had two people mention to me. They emailed me saying my thoughts on SLS. I mean, honestly, if you're talking about biotech stocks, they're very high reward as well as high risk, right? When you're talking about data, as well as you're talking about pipeline for the future. Because I've seen bio stocks just make absolutely crazy 500,000% moves. Like SBRB, I talked about that stock made almost a 3,000% jump after the news, right? But at the same time, I've seen bio stocks drop like 80%. So SLS, this is DD from someone on Twitter. A shout out to you, in Bull Trade Mike. And this stock I'm going to be monitoring as well if it holds those key levels. for a run-up type of strategy. Run-up type of strategy is probably my top 10 strategies in trading. I have many strategies that I implement every single day that I share in my educational videos. I highly recommend check them out. So multi-day is one of my strategies, and run-up. So the stock has a catalyst coming, right? And if you're talking about the run-up strategy, if it holds the previous level of support resistance, you go for a multi-day support as well. So next stock you gotta watch, guys, is Hub Cybersecurity. This one I don't see a lot of people talking about, and that's one thing that these YouTube videos are helpful for, because I share a lot of stocks that people don't really know, and then once it goes crazy, like I talked about Nuburu, and then so many people are talking about it, it made massive move up, and now Hub C, this one I don't really see a lot of people talking about it. This is again a high short squeeze type of theme play, and if you're looking at the daily chart, it made a big pullback. And if you're talking about the strategic contract, actually Hub C secured multi-year contract, estimated $25 million in annual recurring revenue. So Hub C, I'm gonna be monitoring the stock for unusual volume, because usually when we're talking about Hub C, this one usually does not get a lot of volume. So I'm gonna be adding this to my watch list right now today, and I'm gonna be monitoring it for a potential swing trade, right? Next one is Serve. This one I talked about a long time ago, I think like 2 months ago, and then I made a really nice swing trade setup. It kept gapping up, and it was running for multi-day. We're talking about Serve stock. Actually, the broader robotics and automation market is projected to grow very strongly, from $71 billion to $286 billion. This is by 2032. So this is definitely going to potentially create a tailwind for a company like Serve, right? Autonomous, low-mission sidewalk delivery robot. Again, I think this is going to be like, remember I talked about DoorDash, I talked about Uber Eats, I talked about the whole sector in terms of delivery. I think it's only going to get more and more bigger, especially as we get more and more technology-based, we get more and more modern. Not just the work, we're talking about daily activities, daily life. A lot more people are spending time indoors. A lot more people are, using these smart apps or phones or tablets, right? Compared to 20 years ago, it's definitely going to get more and more tailwind, more and more growth, right? So next one we got to talk about would be GNS, guys. GNS, same situation as Opendoor. And all these stocks, I mentioned it right near the parabolic rally. I made a video on it. You could check right near 50 cents. This was like 49 cents. And then after my videos, it ended up ripping face to almost $2 a share. And then a lot of people, this was similar to Beyond Meat, where everybody was talking about GNS. GNS was the biggest short squeeze type of play. And then the stock was just trending on social media. And then this was crazy. This was before, I believe, the open stock went crazy. So GNS, you have to watch this stock. It's a massive technical bull flag type pattern. And when we're talking about technicals, actually, not just that, but the stock has massive range as well, right? And this is a big thing. It's a big catalyst, actually. The lawsuit, the big lawsuit that is a fundamental, that's a big core component. GNS is filed no later than November 15. This was confirmed from the CEO. So this is not someone making a rumor, right, on Twitter, or someone just making it up. This was actual from the owner. So he confirmed it, which is less than a month, November 15. And I remember, did you guys see the Robert Kiyosaki collaboration, with the GNS CEO I talked about on StockTwits as well? It's a big thing, guys. Robert Kiyosaki is not a random person. He's been really bullish on Bitcoin for a long time. I'm not trying to, say that the GNS as well as Robert Kiyosaki, I don't have any ties with them, right? I'm not really, I don't talk to them, obviously. I don't have any insider knowledge, but I'm just saying that I think that there could be potential catalysts, what I'm trying to say, right? When talking about Robert Kiyosaki as well as the GNS CEO. So this one definitely, I think this could get a lot of attention as well, off of Beyond Meat as well as Opendoor stock, right? If you want to check out my other videos on GNS, I recommend you watch my other videos as well, right? So next one we gotta talk about will be SMX. This one, security matters. SMX actually also has a big short type of percent, right? The reason I'm mentioning that is because I see a lot of bears on SMS saying that the stock doesn't really go up, but that's oftentimes an angle where the stock can end up just squeezing, right? Because think about it, every single time the stock has news, you imagine you short, and then you short, and then you fade it, and then one day what happens when that stock doesn't end up doing that, right? It just ends up ripping face, going vertical. This stock actually has announced partnership as well, and SMX often I see almost every time they drop in news. This is definitely on my watch list for a while now, and I'm gonna be monitoring for that squeeze type of angle. Especially I talked about BYND, I talked about Open this month. If it ends up working out well, I think this is another candidate for a squeeze, right? So it's pretty cheap as well if you look at the price compared to the potential. Like in the past, I talked about SMX, and then ended up making a nice move up. The stock used to be a lot higher. If you go to the 4-hour chart right now on SMX, right now it's right near the consolidation level. It bounced off of that dollar, the key dollar level, and it's holding it. So next stock is YYAI. YY, this one I talked about in the previous video, right? This has to hold those key levels, psychological 10-cent level, and it's doing that right now. If you're talking about this stock, actually, this has had massive catalysts. Go to the news release website, and you could check that they filed a $500 million definitive agreement. And this is in the RWA category, real world asset. Is really, again, I've said this in the past, right, more than once, but I think RWA is kind of getting slept on right now. This could offer big upside if the execution works out well and the regulation, right? So for YYAI, I'm going to be looking at that 10-cent level. That's really important, right? When we talk about micro penny stocks, remember that 10-cent level going into this week. It's going to make a cap bounce type of opportunity as well. So next one is IXHL, guys. You already know IXHL has big potential fundamental. Like if you check the pipeline as well as the future potential catalyst on the stock, right? Sleep apnea, as well as if you go to the extended time frame, go to the 4-hour chart right now. You could see that this is at the perfect area. So this could definitely be a nice area if you want to buy in. Again, this is not financial advice, but if you go to the 4-hour chart and if you believe in IXHL, the potential, right? This is right near that area, technical level. And we're not just talking about technical here on this stock. We got to talk about the fundamental angle, right, as well. So this stock actually had many press releases that you could look up online that describe how this company CEO is bullish as well on it, right? This one I'm gonna be watching closely this week. Next one is CIFR, guys, Cipher Mining. This is another stock I've been mentioning for weeks now, I believe. And then look at this run up. I mentioned CIFR many times, and then many people, I believe, swing trade this stock, and this up exploding, going parabolic all the way from around $7. You could check to $22.36, guys. This is one of those. This is one of those stocks that could end up just trending, and before you know it, this stock has had a really high price. This is similar to BKKT. You can go to BKKT technical chart right now. And I mentioned this stock right near the rally, beginning of the rally, and ended up ripping to almost $50, guys. So CIFR, Cipher Mining, you have to watch this stock, guys. This one, again, has potential for multi-day setup easily. And again, I don't want to keep saying the same thing. So next stock is D-Pro, Dragonfly. This one, again, I made many videos on. You can check the previous videos, ended up just exploding, going vertical, right? This is one of those drone plays, right? You can see right here, ground-based robot. This is complemented by software solution, and this is the same situation as CIFR as well as BKKT. Once a stock makes a big move up like this and then it drops, a lot of people get scared. A lot of people might assume that it's done, but if it holds those key levels, I'm telling you, this is not done. Same thing with all these stocks I've been mentioning. A lot of times people think, oh, they made a run up, it's done. That's not the truth at all, right? In my opinion, once it holds those key levels, it could continue multi-day. So next stock you have to watch, guys, is Nuburu. Buru I talked about before the big run up. I made a big run up, and now it's forming a very nice support base. This is another one of those stocks that's really cheap and has potential for a lot more upside, right? If it holds those key levels. So again, if you look at these 19.4 billion dollar, right? This is just by 2028. So this is a big potential market. And Buru stock has had agreements as well. This is not something that the speculation is true if you look up the company file releases as well, right? So Buru stock, I'm going to be watching this stock this week closely for potential as well. If you go to the 4-hour chart, ideally I want to see over 35 cents. 35 cents is a big level as well. And then after 35 cents, 40 cents, and then, it's forming a nice technical pattern as well on the extended time frame. So next one you have to watch, guys, is SPRB. This one I mentioned it at $13 and just like ripping face 2,700%. And right now, look at the daily chart. It's starting to form a potential continuation pattern as well. In rare disease, biostocks, a successful regulatory milestone or approval could lead to very, very big upside. And this stock actually received news as well from the US FDA. And again, I think a lot of shorts got really in a bad situation for the stock. I'm going to be watching this week very closely. Next one, YDKG. This stock almost dropped 99% from the high. 99%, guys. This could be a definite cap bounce opportunity where you could capture it, right? Because the stock over $307 million crypto treasury, tiny market cap, and this stock actually about 7,200 unit of Bitcoin miner. This was just last year. So a 99% drop with 307 million crypto treasury. I don't think I've seen people talking about this stock. I think this is a high watch for me for a potential bounce, right? Coming trading sessions. I added to my watch list. I'm going to be monitoring this. Next one is Donut, Krispy Kreme. So for Krispy Kreme, this is like Beyond Meat, right? This is similar to those stocks like AMC, where this could end up making a type of trend, short squeeze type of trend. And Krispy Kreme actually has room to expand, right? New store openings as well as international market. And I think if the management plays a big role, this could actually drive huge growth for this company as well. We're talking about Krispy Kreme stock. I'm going to be watching this stock very closely, actually, for the upcoming session. Next one is OBLG. This one I had two people mention to me that they're really bullish on it, so I decided to check it out. So that's something I do often, where I look up the stocks that you guys are bullish on. So I highly recommend drop in the comments, guys. I'm doing these videos. I'm just trying to help people, right? So OBLG, actually, this is a tiny market cap stock as well. If you go to the chart, this is a very thin setup. What that means is if a stock is really thin, it does not require a lot of volume for a big explosive move up. I remember I talked about INDP. You could check INDP chart. Before I mentioned that, I made a video, and then the next day I ended up just halting up like 4 times. I think you could look up the stock INDP. OBLG is very thin as well. I'm gonna be watching. Next stock is QCLS. This one actually is on SSR. What that means is a short sale restriction. And QCLS borrow. This was from online. I saw that. It's currently 200. They're paying 200% annual fee to short this. 25 high short interest as well. And this stock actually recently went into the quantum angle, and it actually had a big person join the QCLS company, right? This is big because they can advance photonic and quantum class computing, right? This stock actually makes big moves up as well, so I'm going to be watching this stock for the week. And apologize, guys, if I kind of pause at times. It's because I literally just woke up, and I'm just trying to get this video out for you guys as soon as possible. I could have made this video later in the day, but I'm just trying to do it as quick as possible. That's why you might hear me kind of like tired or something. I apologize for that. So last stock for the video is Opendoor, guys. Opendoor stock, man. This stock is a massive movement. This is the most traded stock in the US, right? Average 3-month volume. This stock actually, I think a lot of whales. If you don't know what that means, whales is big money. Big institution is accumulating. This is the accumulation phase, in my opinion. This is not a sell-off. Accumulation, and I saw that dark pool percent, 70%. I think there's gonna be definitely catalysts and events that's gonna propel this stock forward. In my opinion, once it breaks over those key levels, I've been watching this stock for a long time. The price action on it, so which is why most of my videos, if you check what I said in the video, it ended up playing out perfectly. Same to GNS, because if once you monitor a stock a long time, you could tend to notice patterns as well as pick up on technical features as well, right? So Opendoor, again, I highly recommend that to watch the stock as well as look for potential, especially with all this Beyond Meat hype as well as that's been circulating this weekend, and Eric Jackson on Twitter. So hope everybody is having a great weekend so far, guys. I'm gonna be on the live stream tomorrow every morning as well, just trying to find stocks that could reface, so I'll do good, right? All right, stock catcher signing out. Have a great weekend, guys, and let's go. Let's do good.